Press and hold the center power button to power on the bike. Hold down the plus and minus buttons simultaneously to reach the settings menu. Press the minus button to scroll down to the battery lock option. Press the center button to select the battery lock page, and then press it once again to unlock and eject the battery. Completely remove the wire loom from all of the cables coming from the controls. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench and remove the bolt from the right side frame grommet. Once removed, work out the two halves of the cable grommet and set them aside. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the two battery tray mounting bolts. We recommend stuffing a small towel around the terminal to prevent the bolts from falling into the frame. Lift the battery tray up and out of the bike. With the bike upside down, use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the three terminal mounting bolts. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the three battery lock mechanism mounting bolts. Let the lock assembly slide out of the way. With the bike upside down, use a 4mm hex wrench to unthread the center kickstand bolt. Use a Torx T40 to remove the other two kickstand bolts located on each side of the bike. Locate and begin to guide the kickstand cable out of the frame until the plug connection is accessed. Unplug the connection. Remove the center kickstand assembly by lifting it up and off of the bike frame. Remove the Velcro strap of the drive side mesh guard, as well as the zip ties that secure the shift housing to the frame. Cut off or remove the cable crimp at the end of the shift cable. Loosen the derailleur pinch bolt with a 5mm hex wrench and remove the cable and housing from the derailleur. At the shifter end of the system, pull out the shift cable from the top end of the cable housing. Pull and remove the shift cable housing from the frame of the bike. Swap the shift cable housing. Feed the new cable housing into the kickstand access hole, through the battery compartment, into the head tube, and out of the drive side grommet hole. Take the new shift cable and feed it into the new cable housing until the cable housing end can be seated into the barrel adjuster of the shifter. Towards the rear of the bike, take the new cable housing and cable and place them into position on the derailleur. Capture the shift cable using the derailleur pinch bolt and tighten it with a 5mm hex wrench. Trim the cable if needed and install a new cable crimp. Test the shifting performance. Make necessary adjustments to the cable tension as needed. Install new zip ties to secure the shift cable housing to the frame and cut off any excess tie ends. Reattach the mesh guard's Velcro strap around the frame and cable housing. Get the kickstand and drop it into the mounting position. Reconnect the cable connection by aligning the arrows and firmly pressing them into one another. Feed the cable and connection back into the access hole in the frame, under the kickstand assembly. Mount the kickstand by first installing the center bolt using a 4mm hex wrench. Do not fully tighten. Follow up by reinstalling the final 2 bolts on each side using a Torx T40. Once all are threaded in, fully tighten all 3 kickstand bolts. Torque the center bolt 4 to 5 Nm and torque the side Torx bolts 20 to 22 Nm. Push the cables in the battery compartment to the sides and align the terminal to its mounting holes. Reinstall all 3 of the terminal mounting bolts using a 3mm hex wrench. Ensure all 3 bolts are threaded in before final tightening. With the bike positioned upright, guide the battery lock mechanism back into place and reinstall the 3 mounting bolts using a 2.5mm hex wrench. Ensure all 3 bolts are threaded in before final tightening. With the cables moved to the sides of the battery compartment, replace the battery tray and align it to the mounting holes. Reinstall the 2 battery tray mounting bolts using a 2.5mm hex wrench. We recommend stuffing a small towel around the terminal to prevent the bolts from falling into the frame. Reinstall the battery by inserting the bottom end first and firmly pressing the top to lock it in place. Press and hold the center power button to power on the bike and test for proper function. Lastly, reinstall the 2 halves of the frame grommet and secure them with the original bolt. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench to tighten the bolt. Wrap the exposed cables using the wire loom from earlier. Begin wrapping from the frame end of the cables and work your way up to the handlebar and controls.